Eunice.
What's your name?
What's your name?
I'm Eunice. Nice to meet you guys.
I mean, I feel like we've already met.
I mean, yeah, we've met a couple times. I've casted with you. Pretty nice. Cast with Aiko.
For sure. So for those that don't know,
VC.
Eunice, you've been casting on the MLSA for the past 2-3 months.
Oh, I've
since
been
like
there
M4.
since I've been there since MLSA first came out. Actually, I've been there since season 1. So
Right.
it's been a bit.
Yeah, like December or something like that, a little before December.
Something like
October,
that. It's been
November.
a few months though. Yeah, it's been a few months.
Right on. Are you excited for NACT?
Yes, sir. Very excited, actually. I
your
just don't
first
see like it,
dip.
but
It's gonna be your first dip into the actual like pro scene with it, huh? For
Oh, yeah.
NACT.
oh, definitely. But I'm pretty excited. Kind of want to see where things go because I've not been in that situation before, and nor have I been in like a really professional scene either. So kind of want to see where things go and see where I can go with it. It's I don't know. Just I'm excited.
Are you feeling antsy at all?
Antsy.
No.
Like just excited? That's the only feeling. Yeah.
She's got a flat face. She's like, I'm so excited.
She's getting over an illness though. So.
I mean, I it's just I'm not a really huge like facial expression person. I'm more of a
Get a
word.
thesis. How do you feel?
Man, this ain't English. This is an AP seminar. That was long gone.
I think even for me, the first time that I actually even got like really anxious was Las Vegas for me. Like doing the video stuff. I think just being an influencer for a while, being on camera was fine. It's in Las Vegas though, bro. I was like. Even next to Trex, I was kind of a little bit nervous when we were out there. But honestly, right after the first little bit, that first little opening line, I was like, all right, we got this.
Yeah. First time I got nervous, I think was the first time we ever had the MPL casters come over, and we had like Leo and Naisu over in NACT. And like it was my first time casting with someone of like a much higher caliber, and I was still pretty new at the time. And it wasn't like a scene like there is now. It was like me, Private, and G, like it wasn't like anybody casting, and it wasn't like something like we were still in baby phases, and it was like Leo and freaking Naisu, who now I'm like good friends with, but it's like. And I got that heartbeat, the heartbeat. It's like I wasn't like mentally nervous. I wasn't mentally nervous, but my body was like, "Oh, here we go." But once you get a couple lines in, yeah, we're good, we're smooth. But even then, I remember my first time. I'm like, I was second guessing myself, which I normally don't do. I was wondering like, "Oh, do I sound good? Did that fucking make sense? What I just say? Is my analysis actually on par? Those type of things." Now I'm all past that, but still, like the first time I ever casted with big casters was probably It was interesting.
I don't know. I'm not really the type of person to get nervous. It's just if you're gonna do it, then you're gonna do it. Like I can't be like I'm in school, right? So my major is nursing. I can't be nervous when I'm gonna go help people. Like that makes no sense. But
pulling out the IV, like
yeah, like I'm not about to be like
needles like shaking.
Bro, like I'm about to stick a needle.
Misses the whole arm.
Oh, I'm fine.
Stabs him in the leg.
But ever since I was a kid, back when I first moved to the States, my parents signed me up for a lot of speech competitions.
Okay.
So like it was a lot of Korean speech competitions, actually, more so English, because English we don't talk about my English grammar, none of that. But when I did my Korean speech competitions, she kind of put me in that spot of you're gonna be having to do this in the future. For whatever reason, like you're gonna be exposed to a lot of stuff anyways, might as well just get you used to it. And that I feel like if you're not exposed to like an actual big audience or like a big source since you're that young, or like it's just at a young amateur age, as you grow up you kind of lose that nervous feeling once you go out and about or wherever you want to go, where you have to be put in the spotlight and then a lot of people are watching. I don't get that feeling anymore. Obviously back then I did. Like I was literally about to piss my pants and I was like, I'm not doing this shit.
I think a lot. What's kind of interesting to say because like private. I think for you, like you're ex-military and stuff like that. So being
Mm.
like put in a spot, being part of a group, having to voice your opinion. Like for
Right.
me, I did a lot of music and did a lot of like
Okay, I did not
entertainment
know
has
that.
always been a thing for me and. Like
Music.
essays were always easy for me to remember in high
Oh,
school.
hell
Like
no.
I was always good at like memorizing a whole essay and just not having to look at my notes and stuff like
No.
that, like speeches and stuff. So it's
Mm.
interesting to see like the different backgrounds of casters, but how it all kind of links to voicing or being put on spot and things like that. It's always
Wait,
interesting.
Trex,
to
you
hear
did
stuff.
music?
Yeah, I did music when I was younger. I did it.
Oh my
I
goodness.
stopped and I started doing this stuff.
My minor is music.
That's cool.
What
Hell yeah.
did you play music or did you make music?
I rapped. I ran a studio for like 2
Oh!
years. Yeah.
Oh
Fun
shit.
fact. I ran a studio
Hey,
for like
let's
2
hear
years.
something, man.
No bars,
Do it
no
for the
bars.
boosted.
Come to the stream sometime.
Yo, spit
Do
some
it for the
bars.
boosted.
Spit
no,
some
no,
bars.
no. This isn't the
But
time and place. Back to
I'm
NACT.
I'm
He's
more of
shy
a
now.
more of an instrument player.
Okay.
I play piano, guitar, violin, clarinet, ukulele. Anything that I touch, I'll play pretty much. And the only reason why I can do that is because I have perfect pitch. That's it.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I think we've broken the ice to viewers with Eunice and everybody. So, I mean, guys, NACT this weekend, private, you're on big game, day one.
Yo,
Game
I
one,
was
day
I've been trying to
one.
hold that in.
Man's over
Let it
there.
out. Let it
Man's
out.
over there.
Day one, BTK taking on the Ohio brothers, bro. I could not be more excited with that. And all the teams are going to be. It's like the even matches that I've been wanting to see for all of those. Not just BTK taking on Hoon Squad as well, but it's going to be Gosu taking on Ackerman. Empire and Area 77, and then I hope I'm saying this right. The Ami Top and
I've been
Lami
wondering,
Top.
is that how it said? Lami?
It's Lami Top.
I heard it was
Lami
Lay Me
Top?
Top.
Lay Me
Like
Top?
Lay Me Top. They wanted like the name to be Lay Me Top.
Lay Me Top.
Lay.
Okay.
So that they didn't want to actually
Ah.
write Lay Me Top, but instead
Okay.
they put Lay Me Top like that.
Lami
That's what I
Top.
heard. I don't know, it could be wrong, it could be Limey Top, but I think that's what they were going for.
Assassin Dave
So-
told me that the name means we are the people. Like,
Okay.
what it actually means.
Okay.
Sure.
Just.
But them going
No
up like
sus.
what? So let's discuss the big thing, the qualifiers. How did we all feel about those qualifiers? Just happened just this weekend.
I thought it was fun.
It was fun. I mean, I had fun with GtheAiko, but I just started losing a lot of energy towards that end
There's a lot of games.
area.
I will say
Oh,
that
no,
the hype is real.
It was a lot of games too, but I was sick at that time, still casting with GtheAiko, and I held on to the end until I really couldn't. Like, I was laying down actually on my phone. I had a face cam on and everything, and I was like, GtheAiko, I can't. I need rest. But it was a lot. My biggest shocker though, when BTK lost to
Forgotten ones. Yep.
I don't know.
They'll be forgotten.
Yeah, they
what
are.
that team was, but
And then
they
s-
really
and then-
be the forgotten ones. Cause what was that?
Subsequently lost right after defeating one of the top tier teams here in North America as well. So very interesting.
I mean, they went
I
like
think,
OSS Jungle. and
I
they
mean, you could say that was my biggest shocker.
I think
that was
everyone's
crazy.
biggest shocker.
And then they pulled it off too. What?
I mean, GtheAiko,
Wow.
weren't we casting that match? We were, right? Like actually casting it. Yeah, that was an interesting match, and I'm just sitting here like, Zane.
Honestly, I think when it came down to it, like to the end, like I think when I was looking at it all and I was talking about it, like I felt like with best of ones, things are gonna happen. But I think in the end, most of like anybody's predictions came out the way we all thought it was. Like the teams that are in there, most of us
Everybody
guessed. I
predicted
think
them.
like Wasians in Area 77, I was kind of up in the air because there was a couple other teams that I felt like maybe could have gotten it on them. But like Gosu, Area 77, Wasians, all of them, they're all regular top 8 players. They're all teams that have been dominating NACT for a while. They're just different names or slightly different rosters. And then we had like 2 teams slip through the cracks, which is Empire and Lay Me Top.
I mean,
Which
talking about
there's enough
rosters,
people, so I think it's pretty.
like
It was pretty expected by me. Like the way the top 8 teams came out, I pretty much. I mean, I kind of called how it was going to go, and
yeah.
it came out pretty regular.
I mean, it like I feel like this NACT compared to last year's and like the last seasons is like 100%. The hype is going to be here,
yeah.
especially in this season's NACT. And like, even before this podcast, I was doing a little bit of team like gathering information with Wheezy and all the other casters. And I mean, I haven't even finished this either because I had to leave real quick. But I mean, even just like I have like even just the information itself on individual teams is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And like I'm just hyped. I'm hyped. I'm getting all this information and I'm learning like I don't know because I've only been around ML for a year. I've
Mhm.
only been playing for a year too. So like I don't know too much about like old teams members or whoever the
Mhm.
players are. I don't know too much, obviously. So then I hear all of this new players and like what they used to be before and then they're getting redone and I'm just
It's
like
a lot for you, yeah.
it's a lot. And like I also have to have that some kind of basic knowledge of previous NACT so that when I do bring it up with the player stats, it doesn't get confused or like mixed up in any way. And I'm looking at it, it's a mouthful.
I think you'll be fine. The fact that you're
Yeah,
studying and stuff.
So
Yeah, the
the
biggest thing,
one
like,
thing
I
that I'm
think
seeing here is that Eunice is reminding me a lot like Turna from M4. Like all your note taking, everything is
She
like
does do a bunch
Oh,
of
exactly
note
what she
taking.
was
trust me.
That's I think that's like never mind.
Wow.
well, that's been like some of the biggest things when it comes to like stuff like that. Trying to be prepared for it. I think they all know like I'm a big number person when it comes to all this stuff. I've already gone through all of it and gotten all the stats from everybody for all the because thankfully they go ahead and they keep all the screenshots and stuff up there for some of the matches I might have
Mhm.
missed. But yeah, the biggest part is like getting some of the stats out there. And I do have it's you're never gonna have a full grasp of it when it comes to like the names and stuff like that because I still get annoyed because all these dudes change their names every so often, and then there's gonna be some smart butt that's gonna be like, oh, actually that is Lord T. I'm like, well, it says Squishy on the name, so that's what I'm gonna keep calling him, or something crazy like that. Uh, so like it's kind of hard. Some of the history though does kind of follow it with some of these teams. Area 70, this little weird love triangle between like Area 77, Ackerman, and the new BTK, and all of these members that have switched around in there being a big
Spicy.
one. Yeah, it's really interesting because you got all these people who used to be on the same team. Nicolette and Best Player used to be on the same team. This is going to be their first venture away from each other, trying to get success outside of that. It's just there's a lot of history and stuff, and you're never going to be caught up on all of it. There's still somebody's going to, especially Trex, who's been following this for a while. He's going to be like, oh, actually, this person back in 2 years ago was on the team Insomniacs. Blah. It's really interesting too with all the history. I just wish we kind of I'm really hoping that we can kind of maintain some type of like structure
Yeah.
this year to kind of start laying down a foundation for history in North America.
I think after this season, I honestly believe this year we'll start seeing a lot more names staying the same, team names staying the same, things of that nature. Of course, there will be some roster swaps, I feel, but I do believe like team names will stay the same. Because I mean, even overseas, there's roster swaps. Players leave, players go to other teams, things like that. But as long as all the players' names stay the same and the team names stay the same, then that's okay. I feel like because it's just like overseas where it's like, yo, Onic Esports picked up Kyrie. Instead here it'll be like, yo, the Ohio brothers just picked up Yato or things like that, or BTK just picked up Yato, which to someone that's been around for a year or two and has watched a lot of tournaments, you know what that means. But it's true. Yato has played in other tournaments where he's changed his name, or T has played by a different name, or Theo used to be Hate and is now Theo, and all these things. And it's like there's no way anyone can keep up with that unless you're just like digging for that information. So yeah, I think this year it'll be a good way to like finally set some ground, right? So it'll be nice.
Well,
Yeah, so let's talk about that loss. It was, I think we were talking about before, BTK. I'm not sure how surprising it came out, because I think there was a little part of me that knew it could happen. Just because what happened in the what was it, 2 NACTs ago, when BTK got taken out in the top 16 by was
Oh
it
yeah.
Meta? Who was it that took him out again?
it was meta.
Meta.
It was Meta. Yeah, like
You're talking about when they got knocked out, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
like a decisively got whooped. Like I think it was like oh man, it was 3 games, or it was 2 games. Was it 3? I can't remember. I just know that
was-
I'm
it
pretty
was a
sure it was
best out of
3,
3.
no?
yeah,
don't
it was
know.
a very, like, it wasn't a, oh, they got lucky type of thing. It
One
was like,
sided
nah,
each
man.
side each
Yeah.
time.
And this time, I think I even heard Zane talking about it too. The draft was a little bit of a problem, because he had thought he tried to go 5-head on it. He's like, if we can give them Diggy, but if we have way more CC than they can handle, it's gonna overwhelm him. And I'm like, bruh, that's just
Yeah.
it just doesn't work that way. And then getting drafted a Valentina too meant they had a heavy spin as well, and it just completely messed them up. And but I think we've been hinting at this, all of us, for a while now. Is like drafting is a little bit of a problem here in North America.
Yeah, I think I've said it 100 times. I think it's our biggest issue. I think it's NA's
Well,
biggest problem.
And then I think that's attributed to because we don't have coaches or analysis. Like we don't have anybody that builds drafts.
Yeah.
I mean, no, like you see like teams in like Indo and PH, they even have like their own houses or like that little rooms where like everybody is in there all together with the coach, with analysis, and like their sub is still sitting there even though they're not playing. And like you don't see none of that shit here in NA. Like you don't, it's the leader is in the lineup. The one that drafts is
Yeah.
in the lineup. Like I have never seen a squad that has a leader that does not play tournaments for a reason, because they're solely just the coach, the
TFB.
analyst.
TFB.
Yeah.
I mean,
They used to.
yeah,
They're just
but
not playing
like,
now.
well, yeah, but like I'm talking about current like NACT
Yeah.
teams, and like you like the roster's open to everybody
Possibly
too.
general,
like,
I think.
General
Yeah, I don't know the
is
read on that right now.
I
Same.
don't know either. I just know that he's not playing.
Yeah, I
But
don't know if
we
he's
do,
like
but like
backseat driving at all.
Tarzan is the one that's playing the marksman now for
Yeah.
Gosu, because he's gonna be slotted in the marksman area, and then
Yeah.
Ana is gonna be the one jungling. But like the roster's open to everybody. There's not a single coach or analyst or a full on just backseat, like, you guys play the game, I'm gonna be the one drafting you guys, analyzing you guys, making your drafts, picking, banning, whatever. That you don't see any of that,
Yeah.
like, at all.
But also, I would argue that it's not just lack of coach or analysis. Like,
Well, yeah,
it's
obviously.
like because the problem with our drafts is that we're very see through. Like, you don't see a lot of flex. Like overseas, you see a lot of like, okay, so Cho gets picked up, or this hero gets like Lunoc's first phase pick, right? There's always the question of, is this going to be a mid lane Lunox? Is it going to be an off lane Lunox? And like, those are the types of things I mean when I say like one dimensional. Like NA, when we pick something, you know exactly where it's going. There's no question. There's no flexibility really in it.
Right,
And I think,
but in
and
like
what that has to do is not as much of like having a coach there, draft routes. It's pushing people's hero pools. And yes, someone to sit back non-biased, like, hey, let's try this. But I just don't think like the players are thinking that far ahead, and they're just kind of sticking to what's good for them, and just not really pushing the limits. Like when Kyrie went Lunox jungle and destroyed
like,
BT
no
and
one's
destroyed the
gonna
valley. Like
no
no
one
one is
expected
thinking that
that.
far, and no one's pushing the team to do those types of things. And that's where you
Right.
need an org. You need people behind you that are like, yo, we're gonna practice this for 3 or 4 games. That way, when we need to pull it out, we can. You know. So
Yeah, and like I do see like compared to like NA like draft phases, and like we've seen so many of them. They're like literally any single team you can see. Compared to NA and like MPL and like all of those really high elo teams in like Indo and PH, they leave and let open so many things on purpose to push that hero draft. But like here, it's an instant ban, the Kaja ban, like Valentina ban, like over and over and over and over again. It's the same bans, but you will never like yes, you'll see the most common bans, I'm pretty sure, but like they leave open stuff on purpose. And like that draft pressure, that draft push, the open hero pools where you're kind of stuck in a situation of like, okay, I can go this, but I can do that. But if I go that, this is gonna happen. So like they think like really 3D around everything. And I
Yeah.
think that's what needs to happen a lot more. I'm not saying it's not happening. I know some teams are probably I don't know. I don't know who does it. I'm hoping somebody does it, but pretty sure somebody here does that. But I would like to see like more open draft, more open walking heroes because like I don't want to see the same constant stuff getting banned over and over and over and over again, you know?
Well, I think
Welcome
that
to
you're going
NA.
to start seeing some very specific ones as we start moving on into the league. I mean, we had the qualifiers. Nobody really has a read on anybody yet, so you're going to get those very prototypical bans,
Right.
unless they know and they've faced these guys at the top before. You're going to get maybe a Fanny ban because this dude's a monster on Fanny
Like
XP
like
or something
like
like
for
that.
example, like best player. If people know that they're gonna go against best player, they're gonna ban the damn Fanny. Like that's like unless you know
Yeah.
100%, then
The
it's not
the
gonna be
biggest
banned.
thing when it comes to draft is I I understand the necessity. It has to be the people who are down there because we don't have these extra people. But it's hard, and I can already tell you it's hard for these people to think outside their box. Zane knows what he can do in the jungle. He knows who's going to be fast against us, but does he know like outside what he can pair with that will bring his team victory? And I think that's kind of the biggest problem is that these guys and I don't expect them to as a player. Like you've got so much on your mind already, and then we're kind of like you need, if you're going to be that type of coach, you need to be able to see the entire team. Who's going to be great in that side lane? Who's going to synergize with your pick? Who's going to synergize with that mid and help them rotate? And then that's just a lot to put on any player, which is why I feel like there's just there's not going to be a viable replacement unless we get some type of savant who's able to play and run all this stuff and all the numbers in their head as this comes out.
So, like, do you think, to all of you guys, hot take, since we now have a season, though, and there's not the threat of being knocked out of a bracket, do you think we'll start seeing more variety? Because now there's more opportunity to play around. And I think that could be one of the reasons why in MPL we've seen drafts are different consistently. Because like, all right, it's early season. I know I'm not going home if I lose this series. There's a bit more room to play, and you have a whole season to kind of try different things. So I think that is one thing we could keep our eyes out for, is a little bit of growth through us with this, because a lot of these top teams now, they don't have to
Like
stick
less
to
pressure.
what's meta. There's not that like, oh, we just got to pick what's good because if we lose this, we're going home today. Like there's a bit more play around, and then they're going to play the teams again. So now it's like drafts start to change.
Like
First
you
round,
know.
yeah, it's just I think we're going to see
I
things get a
feel
little bit more interesting.
I feel like when the NACT actually starts now, I feel like the most interesting draft phase will probably be BTK versus Ohio Brothers, only because both sides have people that came from M3, M4, Indo, PH. So like their thought process is going to be I'm not saying 100% different, but when it comes to this ban phase and like picking up players, it's going to be a little bit different, knowing that almost almost full of Ohio Brothers came disciplined from Indo and PH, and Zane also is a multi-title holder as well. And like just putting those two teams head to head that hold records and championships, and then seeing that ban phase happen, that is going to
It's
be
gonna be hot.
interesting.
I
It's
think
going to be hot. It's going to be the hottest take, the hottest match of the game. Like you're just going to see these bans and be like,
Or it's gonna be
"Whoa."
plain as fuck. It's
I
gonna
was
be-
gonna, I was
Right.
gonna, I was gonna wonder, like because like Zayn knows half the people that are on the Ohio
Right.
Brothers, right? So
Oh,
like he's already been playing with them for so long. So they're probably if I was him, I would be hoping that he has something lined up to like, yeah, Basic's not good at this, so let's force him into that role, or like say get rid of all of the mages to cut Hoon off, or something like that. I feel like that is what they're gonna do, just because Zane has that knowledge. It just come down to, can his team execute?
Like
I
his
actually,
Zane's knowledge is gonna be definitely 100% towards basic, Shark, and Hoon. Yureshi came from MPL. Echo,
Yeah, but we still have a good read on
and
Yureshi.
or
Yureshi came
something
from
like
yeah,
that.
NXP.
he's been in.
Evos.
Yeah, NXP, that
NXP.
Evos, yeah. And then best player, he I don't think he holds too much. He played a couple tournaments, I
No,
believe,
best
but I
player's
know
never won. Sadly, best
yeah,
player has
no.
never won any
He
titles in
hasn't.
NA.
He
He's an
hasn't.
amazing player, but he's just never gotten his hands on a gold yet.
I just know he took a
And he out
break.
jungle Zane.
Yeah, I'm kind
Yeah.
of the mind right now that I actually disagree. I don't think it's going to be those two games. I think those two are going to go with the bread and butter that they know, that they're comfortable with, and not try to experiment. I feel like the experimentation might have happened toward the end of the season, when people have secured spots, they have the numbers in
Yeah.
their favor. They don't need to worry about, if I lose this match, I don't need to. It's not going to be much. You might have them either BTK or the Ohio brothers going against some of the new blood in there, and that might be where they think that they have a little bit of wiggle room, try something different, try something new, where if I lose this match just because I was messing around and trying something new, it's not really going to cost me. But there is a lot of pressure in this first match with the Ohio brothers taking on BTK, and I doubt you're really going to see people trying to experiment, like because like
I don't think they
I'm gonna tell
want
you,
to.
whoever wins this, it's gonna be echoing throughout the internet.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
For the rest of the time until they face again. And they'd be like, "Oh, they're dethroned," or "Oh, I knew that they were gonna prove it, bro." That's why I said, like, it's actually crazy that this is gonna be, if the order stays the same, the first match
The
of
first match.
of
It's gonna be
NACT on
intense.
Saturday.
Okay, so predictions.
Oh god.
G, who you got? Ohio brothers or
Uh,
BTK?
I want to say BTK.
Okay, Eunice.
Ohio.
Ohio private.
Oh man, this is hard, dude.
You're already gonna be biased on your first day, by the way.
Well, I
Just
love
say it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
just
to go
say
with
it.
Ohio. I'm gonna have to go with
Ohio.
Ohio. I think Zane and them. I love Zane. I told you I followed him for a long time. They slipped a little bit, and they've been talking about like the some of the issues that they have. I think Ohio right now. If we're gonna go, I'll add a caveat: Ohio, and then BTK the second meeting.
Yeah.
I like that.
But here is my explanation of why I chose Ohio over BTK.
Let's hear.
Both teams are very strong. Every single person in both squads are tournament players.
Monsters.
They have experience. They know what they're doing. Trust me. But if we're talking like book statistic wise on each player, like their resume on each player, Ohio brothers do outshine BTKs
Yeah.
for more than half the team. Like, you have players coming from MPL, M3, M4, Indo, PH with a lot of experience. And I'm not saying Zane has that too, don't get me wrong. But the rest of the four of his members do not have that. They only have the really good tournament competition setting. They've done it multiple times over and over and over and over and over. And I get that. That is still good.
They
That
have
is a
NA
really good-
experience. They
they
have
have the NA.
North American experience, towards the other team has
but
global experience.
minus
Yeah.
best player, the entire Ohio Brothers squad has experience
Yeah.
from PH in Asia.
Yeah.
And that discipline brought over to NA is 100% different than the NA experience people going against people who have the discipline from Asia. That is why my vote stands with Ohio.
So my take is that I suspect that best player is going to get out retried, and I think it's going to come down to retries in this game. And whoever gets the Lord most
Is the
likely
win.
is going to win. So, and another thing is Zane has so much pressure, and he's not scared to put it on the other side, on the other jungle. And a lot of games are won by how well your jungle can jungle. And if that pressure's there, I do think that the Ohio brothers could fall because of that pressure, and because he knows how to initiate that pressure.
I mean, Zane plays Farmville.
There's
I'm
there's just
just
a lot
saying.
of fact. I like the more I think about it, it's like you have Hoon versus Yato, which is just like I don't know who to pick honestly. I do give Shark over Joybaj and over Theo, right? I think Shark's whatever, but I give Zane over best player.
Yep.
EXP lane, Yureshi and T has been on fire recently. Like his second round, he's been on fire. His mechanics have been on point. It's definitely gonna be like I don't know.
It's neck to neck, but
it's very hard. I think
For
I'm gonna escape out of this and say it could go either way. Appreciate you guys.
I'm gonna tell.
No.
Yeah, thanks you guys for it. But I'm gonna
Thank
say
you.
like one of the things that we're a big thing for the second one is for me is I consider Shark a wild card almost because he I hope this doesn't get taken the wrong way, but he is the youngest of them, and through a lot of matches I've seen times when he either got frazzled, he was messing around, wasn't taking it seriously, or something happened in there and they got into his head. And I feel like he's such a skilled player, but when he's off, he's not kind of off, he's super off, and that can sometimes be an issue.
he does
for
it in
them.
Ring 2.
I think if BTK wins first game, they take everything. Like I don't think there's any coming back.
Yeah.
I think if I think if Ohio Brothers win first game, BTK could possibly still take it. But like I don't know. I think if BTK wins first game, it's a wrap. It might be even a 2-0. If Ohio Brothers win, then they probably take it. But I got a big. I don't know. It's probably 3 games, but I don't know. It's a hard one.
Make a choice. Flip a coin.
Flip a coin.
And I'm pretty sure T from BTK is one of the youngest players.
Yato
I'm pretty
is.
sure. Is it Yato?
Yato just turned 14. This is his.
Yeah.
So
that's
Yato has
first,
competed in like all NACTs in Area 77. They won first place, I think, 2 NACTs ago. And then he could never compete. He couldn't compete in M3 qualifiers because he was underage, and he couldn't compete in M4 qualifiers because he was underage. T may be a little bit older or right around that line as well, like maybe 15 or something like that. But yeah, Yato.
That's crazy.
I think that's. I don't know. Yato's going to be a monster in a year
for
too.
both of those teams. Which ones do you guys think has the most pressure?
I just think it's jungle because it's best player plays assassin. Zane plays more tank jungle. It's just assassin versus.
Well, I mean, like, which team do you think has the most? Is Zane the more established one? Does he have?
I thought we were still talking about lineups.
Or
more pressure on their shoulders.
Yeah. Which team do you think has the most
I think
pressure?
Zane walks around with 100 pounds of pressure on his shoulders all the time. That's
you call that pressure? I don't think. I think
he walks around.
Ego
he walks around like a
feathers roll that
Fredrin.
pressure up.
But I think he thrives off of it. Like yes, I think he's ego and stuff, but I think Zane like just walks around with like. Yeah, like he wants to always win.
He's
like to whereas like Hoon and Shark give me more of just like the Ohio Brothers, bro. like you know, like I feel like BTK has always just had a pressure, like a presence, whereas Hoon, and that's why I think like Shark fits good with the team. I think it's just more fun, but I think they're still monsters. But yeah, so I don't know. Of course, BTK has more pressure. They're the more known team. It's always going to be the fans, everyone. Whenever they lose, they get picked apart, bro. Everyone in the world is like,
no, it's just like, and it's also like you see this everywhere.
Not the tongue action though.
And I'm like, you see this everywhere though. Like, you see a tournament, right? And you take a team with, and then they lose, they break apart, and it's just gonna get picked on, just like Trek said. But like, I mean, going back to what Aiko said, I just feel like it's retry. It's retry. It's just. I honestly think
you see some reverse retries though. Like you get the retry, and then all of your team gets wiped. So like,
but I just really think at the end of the day, like good teams, I'll give it. But at the end of the day, it's retry versus retry. It's just retry versus retry. And you have one of the best 2 junglers out there.
Yeah.
Retry versus retry.
Unless it's like Meta's game and it's like completely one-sided.
One-sided, like
I believe it's definitely going to come down to the retries. And
Yeah,
And
well,
you know,
I don't
I
think.
I'd
don't
like
know,
to
but a
say
lot of times with teams that
VPK won't
good,
do that, but
but with teams that good, sometimes it just becomes a snowball. Like when you have like really good teams, sometimes it's not like neck and neck even. It's like 13-minute game, someone gets washed. Next game, 13-minute game, someone gets washed. Like because they're just that good. And once you get that scale of like 2K gold, then it
It's
turns into 3, then it turns into 4, and lords don't
It's
even freaking matter anymore.
it's just like that 5 minute or
Yeah.
like that 5 minute early game. You can kind of see where it's gonna go starting from there. So I don't know. Like it's just so much tension with these two teams. Like
Yeah,
I
it is.
can't even like
This is the game,
like
Private.
shit,
You
dude.
ready?
Yeah,
Like
I'm
This is the
super. When I
game.
saw that, dude, I was salivating. I'm like, I hit up Ben right away.
Salivating.
Like,
no,
Yeah.
I
Oh my
looked at I
God.
looked at the roster. I looked
All
at
of
the
us
roster
are looking
and I
at
was like,
Private with envy. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
that lucky
looked at
Bringing
the
out the
bastard.
roster.
shank.
I looked at the roster and I was like, no effing way. Like, no way. That is the first match. I just looked at it.
Flip something in his drink, so he
Dude,
just doesn't
I
make
had to
it.
like, yeah, I had to like suck it in for a second. I was like, I looked at it and I was like, huh.
It's
Okay,
been blowing
so
up on my YouTube.
So next, the next one that's going to be there, it's going to be Gosu taking on Ackerman. Now, I was able to watch Ackerman a bunch of their games. I unfortunately did not get to catch Gosu, but looking from the stats here, they were super dominant in all of their matches here. I'm not sure if that's a bracket diff for them, or if this new team. I mean, they've always, I mean, when it comes to Gosu, they've always been very dominant. The way I've looked at it is you've got like the whole of North America at the tippy top. You've got them all being gapped by Gosu. And I hate to say it, and it's gonna be, I know I'm gonna get some hate for it, but then you've got like the top 3 teams that are gapping Gosu the exact same way that they gap the rest of North America. So I'm not clear on how well this new team has come together, but I mean, if anybody it can be at their level, I think the Ackerman is going to be there too, and I'm really excited. I am so excited, mostly because Nicolette on that team. I feel like this is going to be the first time that she has a very serious a team that's taking it seriously. Her role is serious, where hopefully she's not going to be juggling around between Mage and Rome, and while these teams
Right.
figure things out.
yeah,
and
because we
stuff
saw
like
that stuff happen last season. That sucked.
I mean,
and
if
not
we're
that
looking
she's
at
not great, she's absolutely stunning on both
Franco
of those
Nicolette.
roles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Franco
And
She
that-
I
she
remember
pulled
that.
out she pulled out a Benedetta. She pulled out a Benedetta in the
Yeah.
faction cup. And I'm just like
Respect.
respectful. But the
Respect.
lineup for Ackerman is Galaxy Kush, Nicolette, Zia, Totenak. And then Kozu is Uzi, Ana, Midnight, which is Fleur,
Yeah.
Tarzan, and Melody.
And Tarzan's Guapo. Hot take on Gosu. I think this is actually, I think some people might disagree with me on this, but I think this is going to be prime Gosu. I
Really?
believe that. I think this is going to be prime Gosu right here.
Explain.
So
Give me some deep.
let me set the story real fast. We have
Let me
Fleur,
hear.
Uzi, and Guapo. If you guys recall, season 3 of NASL, the Valley had Fleur, Guapo, Uzi, Basic, and Arvel, and they were dominating. Before Zane, Chicken, Shark, any of them joined, they were destroying everyone. Area 77, Team Sexy, Insomniacs, all of these players, they were different rosters, but all these players we're looking at, they were washing them. Fleur had the best. Fleur had like a 10 KDA after like 10 games, like was just washing people. So I just think those 3 players, Guapo, Fleur, and Uzi, they play with each other regularly. They've been playing with each other for a while. I think they are going to be like Midnight. I think they are going to really help this team. And I think Gosu's actually someone, because they've been a top 8, but they haven't really been doing all that great, but they've moved around rosters. But I think now that they have these 3 players on, like steadily, not like playing for the Valley occasionally or playing for this team occasionally, I think Gosu could end up being a top 4 team here for sure. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if they're going to beat Ackerman. I think they can take the win. I will give a guess here. I'm going to do a hot take and say Gosu wins this one. That's just. I think. I just
What are
believe
your guys'
it.
takes for it? Who you got picked? What's your pick for it?
I don't know. I don't know enough. I would
Did
say,
I sway your?
but
Did I sway your decision? You were gonna say Ackerman.
I'm gonna say Ackerman. I'm gonna say Ackerman.
I also wanted to say Ackerman.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Ackerman.
And I played with all of them.
Yeah.
Before. And
Flex on the flex god.
no. I play. Okay, let me rephrase my words. I play with most of them. Most of them.
Okay.
But I mean, being able to play with them, you can kind of see for yourself. Like it's different from watching from a back perspective and being able to play with them, like in the actual game.
It's also rank.
Yes. But like yes, but like
It's also
you can
rank.
still but even if you gotta realize like
You get
we're
an
going
idea.
5 mans.
You have a
We're going
personal
5
idea.
mans.
Yeah.
We're going 5 mans. We're going up against
know them a
really
bit,
good 5
yeah.
mans. I mean, being an East player, I played mostly with like Galaxy and his friends and his Eastie squad members or friends or whatnot. I also had privilege of playing with Gosu back even before like I like
Who do you give it to?
we
Just pick one.
Just
spit it out.
She said
Just spit it
Ackerman.
out.
I'm gonna have to
Ackerman.
give it to Ackerman.
We got 2 Ackermans.
I think this weekend's definitely gonna show us.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
with the big dogs.
Trex,
though.
I'm gonna need you to go next since you
I already
That's what I'm
said
saying.
it.
Did you
I gave it to
cut-
Gosu.
okay.
I'm
Trex.
calling Gosu.
Okay, so my
I think a
thing
lot of people are
here
going to say
is
Ackerman though.
We're
I'm
2-1.
calling the upset.
While I love Ackerman and I really want them to do well, for right now, I think nothing as a caster, I think nothing would add the drama more than for Gosu to get back up to the top level. Could you imagine that? Everybody's focusing
Gosu
on the
BTK
Ohio
finals?
and
Yes,
BTK.
yes.
Yeah, and then suddenly it goes to Gosu, who's just been this dominating force that nobody was expecting.
Coin
Gosu and
toss.
MSG.
That's the biggest thing that I would love to see. Not to take anything, and only for the completely biased, like selfish reasons of wanting to have that drama coming up towards the end there. If we can get Gosu back up to a level where it's not, oh, they used to be good, M1 they went to it, that's why they're famous. No, it could get to a point where they're like, bro, these dudes are hot right now, and they are up at the level of BTK. Because I'm gonna tell you, before this, I don't care what anybody says, like Gosu was no longer after M1. They just were not at that level of the tippy top of North America anymore. They're just maybe not even having to do anything with them. They're just came around better teams, better players when it came to some of these tournaments and stuff like that. Maybe that's why I said, like, I'm really hoping General is in the back and he's a part of this, and he is going to be helping to push these teams forward, because that would also mean it would open it up for other teams to maybe realize, hey, maybe we need help. These guys had General or something in the background. Maybe we need help trying to get this to push this forward.
So you said Gosu then, yeah.
I'm going with Gosu.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
Oh wait, you
We
don't have
tied
arms, so I was
twice
gonna ask for
already.
a dap.
Adapt. Just headbutt.
Help us out, Eunice. Give us the.
She said
No?
no.
No. All right.
No, I got you. But wrong
There it
hand.
is, there it is.
Boom.
Cameras are hard.
Yeah, I can't really like.
Oh,
right.
next game.
This was an easy.
Either
I know.
what,
So
Live
like,
just
wait,
top
did we
or-
talk about power ranking with all of these squads yet?
We have not. I
Eh.
mean, I've given power ranking, but it's a little late in tonight to give a full
Yeah.
power ranking. It's a little late tonight.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
That's gonna be for another
Another
time,
week.
another
Another
time.
week.
So what's this?
Hobby top versus Wage.
Maybe next week we'll do a segment where we take all the casters' power rankings and we'll display them all or
Ooh.
something.
Oh,
like that.
I already have my power ranking
Yeah.
done. Like we even ranked every single player within their subcategory from 1 to 8. Like we
whip out our
already did that.
Excel sheet.
Okay. I know me and G did power rankings on teams and stuff like that. I don't know if privates thought about it yet.
Oh, we did. We also did them individually, like individual players up against
Yeah.
individual in their
Oh,
in their
Jesus.
roles. Yeah, we went that far.
Who and Yato? Who is your number 1 and number 2? That's all I want to know real fast.
Who and who?
Who is your number 1 and 2 mage?
Hunayata.
Hoon and Yato.
Who was above?
Who?
Who was
Who's number
first?
one?
Hoon.
Okay.
Really?
For me, Here, let me give you my take. I'll give you my take.
We're jumping
and
off subject here, but you
I'll,
picked
I'll,
my
I'll,
interest.
I'll give you my take. I'll give you my little two cents here. Jungle
Alright.
1 and 2, Zayn and best player, Zayn on top. Marksman
Mhm.
1 and 2, Basic and Zia, Basic on top. EXP, Urashi and T, Urashi on top. Mage, Hoon and Yato, Hoon on top. Roam, Shark and Gauss, QT, Shark on top.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. That's I don't completely disagree. Hoon and Yato's a hard pick.
I had to
What was
discuss
the
this
gold
very-
name?
I
What was
had
the
to
gold
discuss
name?
this very
Basic
carefully.
over Zia. She
What?
said basic Zia.
I put
You're
Basic
crazy.
over Zia only because if we're
crazy.
talking about tournament stat wise, he has more experience. So
Nope.
we
We'll
put
see.
it wasn't just me. Wasn't just me.
She's being
We-
tainted.
What a gold
We-
lane
She's
there
being
you
tainted.
We-
What a nice gold lane you got there, Zay.
but like if
Nice gold
see,
lane
but
you
like
got there,
the thing
Hoon.
is like Ohio's sub is Gina. If Gina was put there, oh yeah, bye.
Gina's not gonna be able to.
I know, but like if Gina was there, bye Basic. Sorry, like.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right,
that's
all
what
right,
I'm
all
saying.
right.
That-
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm
See,
saying.
we did something.
Wasians or Lami top?
We're getting close to the end.
Me, I'm gonna go for the
Wasians.
known. Yeah, Ashley and Merciless.
I'm going
Former
Lami
Insomniacs.
Wasians also have Ooga Booga as their sub.
It's,
Yes,
it's
that just makes me
Oogie
sad though. That makes me sad
Oogie.
for
Smack.
It's
Simpsons.
actually
He was playing
Ooga.
Bruno.
Boogie.
He was playing
Booga.
Bruno.
Oogie Boogie.
It's Oogwa Boogwa. Okay, get it right.
Okay, Donald Trump.
That just gets me
Ooh.
sad when I see that when I see that name. It makes me sad for not seeing the Simpsons in this thing. But
Did they even sign up?
they couldn't. They did sign up.
No, they did.
They-
They were almost signed up, and right before qualifiers, they had to back out. Travel issues, and we didn't actually talk about that. Travel issues, and also just things happening in life. They're going to sign up for next season. Like Damien doesn't have visa stuff and isn't going to be able to get it ready in time. A bunch of other people. It's an issue,
Visas
which is
take
really
forever.
sad. It's really depressing.
Not-
That means no
it's not
gorillas in the chat
terrible.
this season.
Yeah, but it's still time consuming.
It depends if you're like already on a visa here and then you're trying to go over to you. Like if you're in from Canada and you're already like on a visa from the Philippines, like you're not actually a Canadian citizen, then trying to switch it's a lot for a lot of them, because some of them are on like school visas and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and they're not actually even native citizens to Canada, let alone trying to come to America. It's understandable. Hopefully
Does
they get it all
anybody
figured out.
know who BTK sub is?
Yeah, it's a Joybaj, and I don't know who the gold laner sub is going to be, but Joybaj will be their roam sub in case Theo can't get his paperwork in. And they have a gold laner sub coming in as well, just in case Yuna can't get it by
Yuna
finals.
can't get it. Mm.
But honestly, Joybaj, that's a good sub. Like honestly, because Theo and Joybaj, I think really halfway through the season we may see Joybaj sub in or something like that.
So,
Yeah,
so I
they were
don't know if
talking
we
about
got. We're getting off topic again.
I know.
Lami top or Wasian?
Wasians.
Asian.
I picked Lami top to be the dark horse.
Ooh, dark horse. Why?
I did
Just because.
Just because. I mean, to be honest,
There's
like,
got to be one.
They were the only team that got like 100%, if I'm not mistaken. Like
The only new
they
team.
won the
No, they lost. They came
won
from
all
bottom
of-
bracket. They came from
bottom.
I swear they came from
They
top.
they
Like,
beat Odyssey.
No, they
Black
came
Odyssey.
from bottom.
Odyssey.
was it the Empire then? Or-
Nope.
no, both of them came from.
Yeah, they both came from bottom.
Empire beat Whiplash.
Kinda like pull it back
Yeah,
up.
they both came from bottom bracket. They both were.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were the two teams that kind of slipped through.
Yeah.
Honestly, no. Lami Top didn't slip through. They beat Black Odyssey, which they didn't like stomp them, but they did capitalize on a mistake in that last
There-
Lord,
yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
it was
That's
they got
exactly
it
what
was like they Black Odyssey messed up. Lami Top found that moment, which means there's some potential there. But the thing is in top 8, there's not a lot of mistakes that happen, so they're gonna have to
Right.
be able to play better than looking for mistakes.
Yeah, they're going to need to enforce their rules on it and not just react to something. And that's kind of why I have some of the more seasoned ones in ways and kind of overcoming that. But it's all going to kind of change when we start moving on to the second time that all these people face. Who's that last one? It's
Area
gonna be
77, the Empire.
Do we have to talk about this one? No, I'm just kidding.
Who's Area 77?
Yeah, I don't even know who Area 77 is. Probably gonna give it
I
to
heard
the
they dropped
Empire.
out.
I only know Poggy.
I only know.
Pog.
Yeah, I fucks with Poggy. Supposedly he's actually on the roster now, right?
He is. He's a jungler. He's a jungler
Yeah.
for A77.
So he wasn't during qualifiers.
Oh
But
no,
he's-
he wasn't.
He's now that everyone's like finishing out the rosters, which I'm happy about because like now that means there's 3 like original Area 77 members on there. Jeth was always kind of, but he never really ever played. But Poggy as jungle's clean. Now I feel like they could possibly earn my trust back again.
How
Area
well did they do
77.
throughout there? Because technically, they made it through the top bracket. Area 77 did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
they were upper.
that is mostly because BTK got
lost?
surprised
Is that
and
what you're
knocked
saying?
out. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So, and that's why I'm like, is it due to how great they played? I mean, Gal's Cutie and Mar Cutie, aren't those actually siblings?
Beauty.
Gals and Mar, yeah.
So, I mean, you're going to have some synergy there at least. And I don't know. I really would like to see how well they do. Like, there wasn't a lot of matches to watch from them because they didn't lose. So it's going to be very interesting. But
I think even if Area 77 lost, though, they would have done the same thing that BTK did. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they
Oh,
would
come
have
up
to the
with
lower
Tommy.
bracket and just
They would have come right back up. They're right back up.
Yeah, so I think they're a strong team. I think Thumb and I think a lot of people are wondering if Thumb and Gosu where those 2 teams are going to lay because neither of those teams have really done anything. Like they weren't really in qualifiers. They didn't do that. Like Gosu was, but they're just coming back. Area 77 is just coming back really. So I'm still iffy about both of them. I do think Gosu's going to do well, but Area 77 we'll see, they got to show me. I think they're going to beat Empire, but I don't know how they're going to stack against all the other teams.
I definitely have them over Empire as well. Just because I mean it's hard to vote against those people with the actual experience behind them, and that's what you're kind of going for here. And that's kind of and that's why I'm so happy with this. How early all of this is happening in North America too. There's very little of a layoff for these teams to not be doing anything. They're going to jump right back into it and start having some experience at least against some of the top teams.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm ready.
Bro, this
My
Saturday.
body says yes.
But my body.
Stretch.
Any other big hot takes, guys? Any other final words? Because I think we've covered just about everything before this weekend.
Yeah, there's
That's all I got.
We really just covered everything.
Yeah.
Not to be
I mean, I
any
guess-
surprises that happened or are going to be happening. What
Get
do you
ready
think
for
would
this
be-
hot weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be not just Saturday and Sunday. In case people don't
Sweating
know,
right now.
Saturday it's going to be me and Ben opening up the show, and then Sunday leading the charge and carrying that on through. It's going to be Trex and Deku. Dude, we're going to be It's just amazing to be able to, especially starting this first week off and setting the tone for it, bro.
That's crazy.
I'm super excited.
Honestly, other than the teams and everything, I'm excited for the desk for our broadcast team. This is the first time we have a full broadcast team.
I love our
a bunch
caster
of
team too.
casters. I think the fact it's not just 3 people, 4 people. There's 6 of us. I am very excited about our broadcast. I think we are going to bring. I think it's going to be one of the things that also puts NA on the map. I feel like it's not of course the teams have always been a huge thing, but I think we are very diverse compared to MPLPH and MPLID. We have a slightly different flavor. I feel and it's going to be very interesting to see grow and blossom over the next year.
Has there ever been a female caster in NACT?
Oh no, not in NACT.
Hmm.
Not in NACT. I don't think
Well,
Xia ever
no,
actually did a day
No,
in
she
NACT.
didn't.
She did some smaller events back in the day, but
but not for
never-
NACT.
Not for
Oh.
NACT.
Was it a Beth in one?
Oh, yeah, that is
no,
true.
that wasn't at NACT. I don't think. I think that was NA round table for. Or
No, that
no,
was
no.
definitely
Beth's
last
was
No,
last
wait,
NACT.
no.
No, yeah, Beth's was last NACT.
That
Yeah,
was
you're
last-
right.
Yeah.
Because we had Combat and Beth's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was one, but I think you're gonna be the best, Eunice. As long as you don't freak up. I'm just
Freak
kidding.
up.
I was gonna say the other word,
Ooh.
but it's the end of the podcast. Try to keep it clean.
Yeah, okay.
As long as you
I'll
get
see
that
you
weird
after
Twitch
the
thing
podcast.
fixed.
I'll see you after the podcast.
Oh.
All right, I think that's it, guys. We're coming in
GGs.
on the hour. Thank you, everyone, for watching. It was a pleasure. G, any last words from you?
Nope. I'll see you guys sometime
Private?
soon.
Saturday.
Saturday.
Catch Private and Ben opening up the show. It's gonna be memorable.
Saturday.
It's gonna be a memorable. What time does it start? Everybody's been asking me too.
5:30 EST.
5:30 p.m. EST.
5:30.
Okay, so yeah, catch us there. That's the
Shows up late.
inaugural day of NACT.
Eunice?
6 hours.
I'll catch you guys on NACT next week, and you guys will see me
Next
on
Saturday.
next Saturday. Saturday. Next. I don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday, but you guys will catch me next week on NACT. So I'll
Just
see you
watch
guys
them
then.
all.
Yeah, just watch them all.
Just watch them all. Yeah.
Thank you so
Support
much for
us.
joining us, Eunice. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having
Maybe
me.
we'll have you on again sometime soon. And everybody, we are out.